It's the Slam Dunk.
Now, you don't need me to tell you why these three have been sent packing from Parliament. Haka like this, in fact, any disturbance during a crucial vote in Parliament is banned. And it has been for decades. It could be seen as a way of intimidating someone before a vote. So it's a big no-no. That's the rules. But these three, Ngāti Wapeka, Waititi and Maipi Clark, chose to openly defy Parliament, and the Privileges Committee Chair Judith Collins has called the behaviour intimidating, disorderly, and that it impeded parliamentary business. The co-leaders have been banned for 3 weeks, Maipi Clark a week.
This is a serious business, and it is not a joke. And we've never seen action like this in Parliament. We've never seen people who refuse to take up opportunities and who refuse to say that there's no sign of contrition. The closest we got from any sign of contrition in the three MPs was with Miss Maipi Clark, who made it clear that she was sorry that she had put the Speaker in that position.
Adding to Pati Māori's woes has been the way that they've treated the process. They failed to show up on numerous occasions. They only submitted in writing, not in person, and they leaked the initial draft report from the committee. That's a no-no. They did everything wrong. They then lied about that as well. They presented themselves as arrogant, disrespectful outliers who have simply refused to play ball all along. I personally am surprised they weren't stripped of their pay in place in Parliament for longer. But it's a fine line. You see, you don't want to make too many martyrs of them, you know. Don't get me wrong, it's a hell of an unprecedented punishment. No one really wants any MP in this democracy to be sent from the chamber and therefore not take part in the running of the House. But Collins and her committee of senior MPs were left with no option but to hand down the harshest penalty ever handed out by a Privileges Committee in New Zealand. In my view, it's justified, completely justified, and it can easily be defended. Claims of Māori being too harshly treated, that's a red herring. It's a big deal for other MPs to make a decision on the future of other elected MPs in Parliament, but such are the rules and such is the power of the Privileges Committee that they control their own destiny, and boy, have they punched the co-leaders in the face on this one. And quite frankly, they deserve it. Ngāti Wapeka and Rawiri Waititi have trifled with the committee all along, and Ngāti Wapeka at times has hit social media during this process and appeared to melt down. The pressure was becoming so much. She's just not leadership material. Why would anyone follow her into anything? I wouldn't follow her into a lolly shop, let alone a political movement. And it's not racist to say that. This has nothing to do with race. She's lowered the tone. She's ignored long-established Westminster rules, and if we tried any of this on her home and I'd say we'd get a black eye and be pretty quickly removed from the place. They've stuck their nose in the air, they've put their one finger out in front and said, up yours, New Zealand. We are Māori, and we will not be treated like this. But you've got to earn respect in life and in Parliament, and I think they've gone out of their way to be contemptuous, and it's like they've been urging Parliament to treat them harshly so they can immediately cry foul and cry it's unfair, we're Māori, this is racism. It's nothing of the sort. Any co-leader who chose so openly and in such a brash and bold way to dismiss the rules and procedures of the place deserve this punishment, whether they be black, white, green or purple. It simply could never be justified, and it's only gone on this long because they refuse to play ball. It's cost thousands of extra dollars of wasted parliamentary time and effort when something more constructive could have been done. I think the Pati Māori have forgotten why they're actually in Parliament. It's like they think it's all about them, but in truth they should be representing their people and their concerns and their needs. They probably think they are. What on earth have they done for their constituents? They've been forgotten in all of this, haven't they? As these Pati Māori MPs have been consumed by themselves and their own egos. They've been detained by their own devices, and they can't stop looking at themselves on social media. They've created a storm of their own making, and the country has seen right through it, and I say a good deal of Māori are also embarrassed by this. Sure, some of their voters might like them being so bold and brash in the face of the colonisers, but they signed up to that place, and every 2 weeks that place pays them to be there. They have taken the office, the flights, the perks, the allowances, the travel budget, the taxis and the Ubers and the meals and the flights for their partners, and they've taken the salary every 2 weeks. They've taken the office, the cell phones, the staff, the electorate office, the funding associated with all this. Each MP probably cost about $1 million. They've used parliamentary services and all the help that those people provide, MPs, in setting up these offices and paying all the bills. So they've had no problem enjoying the well-funded benefits of the expensive taxpayer-funded colonial parliamentary complex. No problems whatsoever. But when it came time for them to play by the rules and show up and perhaps show some class and some grace, they failed. In fact, they doubled down and made it worse. I personally think by sending the two co-leaders away for 3 weeks, it's a message for them to grow up and pull themselves together. What will they do with that time away? Hopefully it's a lesson to them, but we've all got rules in our workplaces and they're not above the Parliament. Perhaps they might return with their head slightly pulled in, but I doubt it. I wouldn't hold out much hope. They'll have something planned. I wonder what it will be. 3 weeks out in the wilderness, they've become martyrs. They orchestrated this from the start. It was planned months and months ago. It's their attention-seeking approach, and for them, perhaps it's worked. Their vote's holding up. Their voters appear to back them on this. But I'd stop short of saying that all Māori are behind their antics, because that's what the problem is. It's childish. It's petulant. It's a petulant outburst, and it's totally lacking in leadership. If I was the Māori Party, I'd use the 3 weeks out in the wilderness wisely. I'd get around local marae and see what everyday Māori truly think of this outspoken behaviour. It's good for nothing. Truth is, they achieve zip by doing this, but they make Māori, or the ones that support them anyway, feel good like they're fighting against the colonisers. It may feel good. Like pissing in a wetsuit on a cold day at sea. It might warm you for 15 seconds, but when the music stopped and they're left without pay and without their platform on the outside of Parliament, what are they truly achieving for their people? Their people expect them inside Parliament, fighting for everyday Māori. Instead, this lot are anything but everyday Māori. To me, they're a walking, strutting sideshow. All hats and no trousers, all song and no dance, all haka and no main game, all talk and no action, all wind and no winds, all puff and huff but no puha and hangi. A waste of space when Māori need their representatives to be present, taken seriously and getting wins on the inside, rather than being on the end of bands, send them into the wilderness. I wonder what Taliana Turia would really think of this. She could protest and make noise like anyone, but she was also constructive around the table and had her people firmly front and centre of her being. Everyday Māori are no better off for this egocentric approach. They might feel staunch, but it's doing them no good. It increases no one's mana, and in many ways it's left them on the outside when the budget's about to take place and when ordinary Māori need a voice more than ever in a government that's about to cut spending. Even further, the two co-leaders couldn't be more irrelevant. Out in the cold, out on their own, let it be a lesson. You're no bigger than the Parliament, and any claims you have been harshly dealt with and not given a fair hearing will fail, and they'll fall on more than 4 or 5 million deaf ears, I reckon, in this country. Te Pati Māori are calling the verdict the worst punishment handed down ever in our history. They say, quote, when tangata whenua resist colonial powers, reach for maximum penalty. This is a post on Facebook. This is a warning shot to all of us to fall into line, they say. It's not a warning shot to fall into line. It's a penalty for arrogantly not following well-established rules. Simple. Grow up. Stop lying. One of its MPs, Maria Mino Kapakingi, says the decision is grossly unjust, unfair and unwarranted, resulting in an extreme sanction. This was not about process. This became personal. Te Pati Māori made this personal by not playing by the rules. They took the attention on themselves. If they're upset by the ruling, then they've got to suck it up. It's 3 weeks. Do your time, then get back in there and prove to your voters and to the country that you learned something. Sure, tikanga and haka may well have to be dealt with differently in the New Zealand context, and such things are unique to New Zealand's Parliament, and I actually believe that they can add colour to the place, and we need to modernise the place and truly reflect New Zealand and who we are. But staging a sulk session and pulling us the bird while breaking all the rules and leaking confidential information and then lying about it isn't the way to get change. Te Pati Māori are the only ones to blame here. Stop pointing the finger, and while you're detained by your full-length mirror, take a good look into it and ask yourself, what the hell have I really just achieved for my people? And could and should I have done this differently? No one's asking you not to be Māori, not at all. We're asking you just to do the same as everybody else. You're not special. If you think you are, then that's a delusion that you will fast need to overcome. Blaming Judith Collins is futile and unfair. She had a job to do. If we asked the country what sort of punishment should be handed out, I think you'd find that you'd never have been invited back. As my old man used to say, when I stepped out of line, he'd say to me, pull your head in and get on with it. No one's impressed. I think that's probably how people feel right now.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.